Time for us to start another show for you right here on NATV Network. Often imitated but never duplicated, we have the one and only Deborah Elam. Boy, I tell you, we're going to have some fun. Fun Friday for us. Back on the air again. Thank you for all the love and support you've shown me and my family while we were gone. Time for us to get down to business. NATV Network, home of NATV Podcasts and NATV Radio. NATV Live right about now. Give us a moment or two. Warming up the tubes, getting everything ready to go. I just love having Deborah come through. Welcome to our home, NATV Network. See you guys in just a moment. I know you're out there somewhere. I know you are. I know you're out there somewhere.
Yes, I am.
I know you're out there with that fantastic microphone that you got there. This is just totally awesome. You sound so good. I'm going to turn the music down. Hey, listen, tell me something. What have you been up to? You sent me a message the other day. You weren't even in Germany anymore. Where were you?
I was so much closer to you, Paxton.
I know.
Was actually, I went on a last-minute decision workshop trip to Austin, Texas. So I couldn't have been more in a different space as I'm here in the north of Germany.
Yeah.
I was in cowboy land, totally, and I absolutely loved it. I was on a life-changing workshop that connected me with amazing things, and yeah, we should chat about that.
Hey, I'm just really curious.
Yes.
I literally had to look at the message 4 times. 4 times I had to make sure I was reading what I was actually reading.
Yeah.
What
Did you
was
look
it
up
like?
Austin on Google Maps?
No, I know
if it
where.
wasn't
Look,
close to Hamburg, another Austin?
there you go. How many miles? I didn't ask the question. How many miles were you from home?
I don't even know. I haven't
okay.
checked.
I'm just curious.
I haven't checked.
Yeah.
We should check it,
Crazy.
actually. I haven't checked. I was on 3 flights from Hamburg to Amsterdam to Detroit to Austin, and it was on every level the most amazing experience. I had my family pick me up they live in Dallas, and they drove 3 hours to come and get me at the airport and to check into my hotel and stay with me for 2 days before the workshop. So I got a VIP tour of Austin, and it was so awesome. And then
Unbelievable.
the workshop. Really, really unbelievable, because first of all, I feel like we did something over there in Austin to make time stop. Like every single day we would be like, remember that one time when and people were like, no, that was yesterday. Like, are you kidding? And it seemed like a week ago. So days or weeks, and we just got so much into every minute of every day. And I am just so thankful. Got connected to amazing people and learned very, very powerful things.
What did you learn that you can share? I know we're going to get into the main subject, which is essentially how to break free from old patterns and so forth. What did you learn that you
Yes,
could
and I
share with us right now?
absolutely want to share that because now I'm not like a workshop and class freak that goes left and right and just wants to like pile on different diplomas and certificates, and
I got you.
I'm not that type of a coach. So I have my very clear views on how transformation and how identity change kind of works. So I've been working a lot with neuroscience and like spiritual basics and modern psychology and mindset work, and now I come along this antique Chinese energy work called Qigong. And I'd never really heard of it. I knew it was like kind of exercises, holding exercises and movements for the body, but I didn't know there was like a whole huge philosophy behind it. And now I come across this teacher from Austin, Texas, who teaches quantum healing alongside with qigong. And so I started being really curious and listening into him and really listening like what he had to offer. And all of a sudden I recognized that what he was teaching was so aligned with my method and with the program that I'm teaching my clients, and that this would take me so much more like deeper into the anatomy of change and like what it takes and how you can go deeper into how the body relates to your emotional system, relates to your energetic system around it, and just by linking the missing parts. And so that was like, for me, I felt like a kid at Christmas, at Easter. I had found my thing. It was amazing.
You went to Texas and
Yes.
found your thing.
I found my thing, and I really I was just so like over the top happy with that decision, with like going halfway around the world just to meet my teacher and his beautiful girlfriend and like all the people who were there at the workshop. And for anyone out of your community who's interested and wants to go deeper with qigong, which I will also of course be integrating into my work, but anyone who contacts me, I will be so happy to share that contact and name. So if you guys want to go to a workshop that will change your life or just learn online, just let me know and I'll happily share.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
Yes.
Very good. Appreciate it a great deal. Look, I'm going to start this off because we really don't have a full structure on this channel. We have conversations and so forth. We don't really have interviews. So let me get my mic over here. How can a person begin to break an old pattern?
That is
How
such
can
a
they
big
free
question.
themselves from cycles of abuse, maybe negative thinking, accepting responsibility? There's so many things that people, and I told you this before, when you chose this subject, I have a lot of people over the past 5 years that we've gathered. The questions that they have, they vary. So it's not an old pattern. It could be anything.
Yes.
Help. help.
Yeah,
Help.
SOS.
Yes. I don't even know where to start.
Yes. And I absolutely get that on a very deep level, because the patterns that you have is actually the beat to which you dance, the rhythm of your life, the quality of the experience you have here. All of those are kind of your patterns, your usual reactions to things, the way you think, the way you feel. And all of those things are so deep tissue that you actually don't even have access on like a superficial level to all of these things. So you might be thinking you're a very loving and open person, but then under the surface, you have so many blind spots and so many patterns of things you don't even know that you don't even know them. So they're so far away, and it's very difficult to.
Sorry, I'm grabbing my cup of Java. So go ahead. I was trying to reach
very
it.
nice,
Go ahead.
very
I
nice.
got it.
It's early over there. It's evening here. So it's so difficult to walk that path by yourself, but it always starts with your awareness. And your awareness doesn't have to be, okay, I know my patterns, because that is unrealistic. The only awareness you need at the beginning is, I am experiencing a reality that I don't want to be experiencing. That's enough. That's just awareness. There is something that I would like to change. And now this is where most people like make a U-turn and walk the other way and go back into their closet if that's where they're sitting, and they're kind of waiting it out, thinking things will change, things will get better by themselves. But so they're so scared of admitting that something is going wrong in their life because they do not believe it's possible for them to change. So they think there are things going on that are outside of their power. But now, if you ask me, everything, every single thing lies within you. You can start to create a completely different world from within. You can start really activating your inner healing capacities from within. You can neutralize old toxic energies or patterns where you have been getting into abuse situations and not knowing what your part in it is, because most people, it's so easy to stay where they are and to point out where there's wrongdoing in their exterior. So they will be so focused on, he's a narcissist, what did he do, how did he hurt me, I have been so injured, and everything. But instead of focusing on the part where he is a narcissist, if you want to call it that, you better start focusing on the toxic part in you that was a magnet for that. What part in you attracted that? So it takes a lot of courage to get to that point, because you're going to need to take that mirror and turn it towards you, because everything on the outside, everything else is just an illusion, is an interesting point of view. You can have many different points of view about it, and this journey, if you decide to go on it and to change your patterns, you're going to need to make it about you. You need to have the awareness, okay, there's something I want to change. You need to have the courage to say, let's go, the willingness to do it. And you need to be committed and persistent, because it's not always going to be easy. And I see the biggest breakthroughs with my clients when they're willing to walk the path and to keep on walking, and to walk by faith, not by sight, because of course, not in the minute that you start, walking your path, everything on the outside is going to transform magically. The universe is still going to present you with the exact same things at the beginning to see, are you reacting differently to the same experience? And this is how the universe or life can see, okay, you have changed. So it takes persistence, commitment.
Does an individual see that they change and then recognize, oh, look, it's the same thing happening again? Or do they see the same thing happening again and they just think they're a victim and now they're stuck in victimhood? I don't know. We're just having an opinion discussion today. We don't have notes. We don't have notes.
I've seen both. And that's why I have become kind of strict, because I don't work with everyone, because my opinion is you can heal any emotional topic, wounding. You can heal everything, but not everyone can do it. And I'm saying not everyone can do it, not because, I'm talking down on someone, but because someone might not be ready. If it's not your time, you're going to stay rigid. You're going to stay in your victim mindset. You're going to be very vigilant for everything negative going on in your life and recognizing old things. But what you don't know is that your system has gotten so used to specific patterns, and it's kind of like a drug addiction. It's like a habit that you're actively proceeding. And even if you hate it, even though you might not like it at all, you might be addicted to drama. You might be addicted to helplessness, or to anger, or to sadness. So for some people, even when they're having amazing breakthroughs, the next day they will wake up and say, see, my headache is still there. They will.
Right. No, I get you. Yeah.
And I believe them, their headache might still be there. But there comes a point where you have to walk through and continue walking and just believe that what you set your intention for is coming for you. You have to be so convinced.
I want to go back to something you said. I'm doing a show with you today, deliberately trying to not take notes, and it's very challenging, but I want to do it. Listen, you said that it takes courage
Yes.
to walk this path where, you know what, I'm going to work on me and not have anything about me, to the best of my ability, that is vulnerable for someone who's a predator. I'm throwing that out there. You said a person has to have
Yeah.
courage. I added the other stuff, but you essentially said a person has to have
What
courage.
you said, I don't agree 100%. That's
Got
not
it.
my philosophy on it, because if you're, look, I'm going to try to explain it to you, because it's very valuable that you brought that up, because probably a lot of people think like that.
Got
My
it.
thinking is a little bit different, because if you're going to go out and your intention is not to be a magnet for any kind of a predator, is that more out of a motor of love or of fear?
So that moves toward fear than living a life
Absolutely.
with a pattern of love
Yes, you're on the exterior, you're
on the
scared
edge of
something
protection all the time. On
might
the edge of
happening.
protection all the time.
Yes, and you're building up walls around you to protect you from like possible, and there is no separation. You can
Super hyper vigilant.
Yes, but being super hypervigilant is a fight and flight state. So you're going to have the whole biochemistry of stress. And
Stuck
that
in
is
third
going-
gear, fourth gear, and just
And that is going to make you mentally and physically sick. We have all the scientific proof that being in a biochemistry of stress for a long period of time makes you sick, makes you mentally and physically sick.
How does
So
a person break that pattern then?
there are a couple of things that are extremely important.
Well, now you said courage, so what else is going to break that pattern?
So I said, like, to get you going, you need to have the awareness, I want to change something, the
Got it.
willingness, the courage, and so on. But then, when you're in the process, you're going to have to deconstruct every single thing you have been thinking, the way you have been feeling about things, the way you having been walking into your life. You're going to do like an auditing of your complete beingness. You're going to have a look at every single part of your life, and that is work. Because during one day you have about 60 to 80,000 thoughts in one day. So you can't even recognize the single thoughts. It's like a flat line.
Yeah,
It's like, one tone. And but to start, picking a couple of these and getting an idea of like what the main vibe is of the way you're speaking to yourself. Like, how do you react when things go wrong? Do you say like, "Oh, you loser! That was so obvious. What did you even think?"
To yourself, use
yourself,
me as an
self-talk.
example. So if I start talking to myself like that, I'm not going to get too far
Absolutely.
at all.
But people don't realize that. It's like, and it's really heartbreaking, because you can imagine, like, when you're born, you are given one human being to take care of, to love, to make thrive in this world, and to really do the best with that one human being, and that's you. But people usually talk in a more harsh, in a more strict, and a more perfectionistic
Critical.
way critical way to themselves, and they don't even know the impact that has on you, because we are all made of energy, and our body is like 70% water. So water has a memory, and the way people talk to us, the energies we are submitted to during the day, has a massive impact on our complete system. And it's not only self-worth, but it's energy. It's the way we walk out with confidence into the world, the way our health is, mental health, physical health, spiritual health. So there's so many experiments with water when you like talk to a glass with cooked rice. Yeah, it changes within a couple of days.
I've heard that. I haven't seen it
Yeah.
yet. I was going to
I've
look at a
done
video.
it.
Have you done it? Okay.
I've done it. I've done it like a month and a half ago, and it's supposed to go on for like 3 months. So what I did was I filled the little jars with rice.
Okay.
Exact identical jars, disinfected beforehand, and pure white rice. And on one of the jars, I wrote love with a little sunshine, and on the other one, I wrote hate with a skull on it.
Ugh.
And
Yuck.
I put them on the same board, but like, a couple of feet apart. And with the girls, with my girls, every time we would walk past it, we would talk hate and fear and like disgust into the hate glass. And we would talk thankfulness and gratitude, humility, love, friendship into the love glass. And it's supposed to go on for 3 weeks. After 3 days, and I'm not kidding you, I have pictures of that. I can send them to you. The glass with love was unchanged. It was white. It was at the same level. It was
That's crazy. Wow.
excellent. And the other glass, Paxton, I do not know how this
Wow.
happened in 3 days. It was with black mold and like furry
You are
green stuff
freaking me
inside.
out.
It had like sunk like at least like a couple of inches. It
Wow.
looked disgusting. I like threw the whole thing out and I was like,
Dude.
"Well, I don't even want to clean that up because it's so disgusting." And so I explained to my girls, I'm like, listen, we did that experiment, first of all, because it's interesting. And then also, so you can see the way you speak to each other impacts your complete system.
Absolutely.
This is
Absolutely.
what you're going to look like from the inside if you speak harshly to each other. If if you're strict, if you are like rigid, if you have like judgment, this is what it's going to look like.
Judgmental
Just
attitude,
imagine.
critical. Yeah.
Yes.
Even the tone.
Even
the tone.
tone.
Yeah, the tone is huge.
Yes, because energy is felt. So, the
Wow.
self-talk is like a huge thing. If you want to, change your patterns, become aware, more and more aware of the way you speak to yourself and ask yourself, is that really loving? Is that really
Yeah.
caring? Am I really doing my best and taking care of my human? Would I talk to a best friend like that if she like
Or a
lost a
pet.
job? Yeah, or
Some
a
people
pet,
talk better
even
to
a
their
pet.
pet than they talk to themselves.
Absolutely.
Hey, so just for the viewers and the audience, and the people listening on the podcast side, describe the hate jar again, please. Describe the hate jar.
What
was
it looked like
black
after the
and
experiments?
moldy. Yeah.
You don't even know. It's disgusting. I don't even know. I don't want to talk about it publicly.
What?
It's giving
That's
me
like
the
what
chills.
person could be inside, then, right?
Well,
If they're in an environment like that or talk to themselves that way
you
or in
kind
that
of
pattern.
yeah, it's like you shrink into yourself and you become the smaller person. You become bitter. You become hopeless. You become sad. You become frustrated. Maybe you become numb because it hurts too much.
Man.
And then the more you have like stuck energy within you with like shame and guilt and all the feelings, the more you're gonna like kind of crumble into yourself and not be that bright, shining,
Rounded shoulders, everybody's hunched over, just not feeling
Absolutely.
good, always
Absolutely.
in a
then
ball.
Absolutely. And then
It's
watch
crazy.
yourself, Paxton, when you're feeling down. And I know, at your
Yeah,
whole
we all
community
can have
knows.
that. Yeah, right.
When we're all down, like you had like, some health stuff going on these
Mm-hmm,
past week. And everyone knows when you're not feeling well, you're kind
I
of
was trying to
like
figure out
down.
who I was gonna make it my will and who I was gonna whether I was gonna send you my microphone and stuff like that. And
Oh, what a silly
my
idea.
daughters are going like, man, I'm glad we got this insurance policy on and we're gonna be rich. I'm
Gosh,
just kidding.
yeah, exactly.
I'm just joking.
Everyone but me, I'm going to be gone.
But yeah,
No,
go
but
ahead.
what I'm saying is you can, your posture is directly related to your state of being in that moment. If you're feeling like a superhero, if you're
Right,
feeling
right.
pumped, if you want to go out there, and get them and
Yeah,
motivated and,
Right.
work on your stuff, you're going to have a different posture, a different voice,
Mm-hmm,
a different energy than someone who feels really depressed. And you're going to be hunched back and, have a frown on your face. So we need to evaluate and recognize that the body and the emotional well-being are directly interlinked with one another.
I'm sorry, repeat that again, please. For everybody in the back row, you please listen to what she just highlighted there. This channel that we have here, there's a lot of individuals that are struggling with a life pattern of depression. Say that again, please.
Yes. So the way your body posture is, like your physical well-being, is in direct connection to your emotional well-being. So when you have like a mental issue or a physical issue, there's always a relation to your emotional world. and to really dive deep and to really be open, to just be open to see that connection and to be willing to try something new, to get out of your known patterns, to get out of your comfort zone. Because and that is so important. And because you just mentioned there are so many people with depression and everything. I am not saying this is the cure for depression right now, because this is a topic that needs to be clinically therapized as well. So what I'm saying is when you are in a depressed mood, if you are, down, if you are not feeling motivated, this is when I really suggest just stand up, like look at your posture, take like a straight position, and maybe get your body moving, listen to some music, say something really uplifting, like yes, let's do this, let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah.
And you will see that the biochemistry that is sent out into your system changes within
Wow.
instants.
That's
Within
nice.
instants. It really is nice, but that's like just a little tiny trick to get you going when you really need to when you need to function, when you need to go out there, when you need to get stuff done. But then, of course, there's the deeper level, and it's training to be a different person. It's training to become aware, to become conscious of who you have been being, and to set an intention. Who do I want to be? What do I want to experience in this life? How do I want to express myself? Like, what is my soul's wish? Have I been a very, introverted person, but like all I really want is to like speak openly and make connections with people. That takes a lot of vulnerability to admit that you haven't been living who you actually would love to be. And just to start like setting an intention and then training. And there's a specific method that I work with that is going to help you go so deeply and realize the patterns you've been striving off. And you think you've been striving, you've actually been living off them, and they have been blocking everything out of your life that you would have rather had. So
And those
really
patterns,
just
those patterns can get really ingrained in a person. It may be the environment they came from. It
absolutely.
becomes a lifestyle, which
Yes.
means it's hard for them to give them up, maybe, right? That's their comfort zone, right?
Well, it's extremely hard. It's extremely hard. Like every single one of us has had the experience that they wanted to stop one thing because they knew it wasn't so good for them and they couldn't. What was it for you, Paxton?
Oh, man. Hey, you know what? I had a box of donuts,
Yeah, look.
and
Yes.
it doesn't last long around me,
Yes.
but I don't have them like I used to. But my
Yes.
daughters, because we were celebrating something, got a box of donuts, and
Yeah.
I don't let them stay around long. In 24 hours, they're gone.
They're
But anyhow, but I probably won't have any for like the next 6, 7 months. So I've gotten a
Yes.
lot better. It used to be like every weekend.
Every single person, if it's overeating,
Yeah.
if it's over binge watching, for me it's tortilla chips. If you have tortilla chips
Oh my
around,
goodness!
it's game over. It's
I got
game over.
I got a daughter. You got something in common with? Yeah, I got.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm so,
Just, man.
and then going to Texas and having them
Oh
freshly out
my
of the
goodness,
oven, just
yes.
forget it.
I can only imagine what that was
I'm
like.
lost to this place. And
my
yeah, that
goodness.
was beautiful. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
we all have the experience that willpower by itself sometimes
Yeah.
isn't enough. Because we really don't want to be doing that. We know it's going to be, it's going to be detrimental for our energy. We know it's
Yeah.
going to make us tired. It's going to make us gain
Yeah.
weight, and perhaps it's unhealthy. Whatever.
Look, you're stuck with me right now, and I'm loaded with donuts. So they didn't survive till 6 this morning. They were all gone, and they got them like at 9 o'clock last night. So it was
Good
like
for
gone.
you. Good
So
for you.
I'm gonna take a really good nap when we're done. We're
That's
done here
awesome.
before
and
I do
I'm
something else
going to
later.
give you like a little hack. I'm going to give you a hack with
Okay.
the donuts.
You
but it's
give me a hack.
secret.
That's
I might
pretty
keep
good.
it for the end of
That's
the
good.
show.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
gonna
all
tell
right.
you.
By the way, if anybody is going to be able to stick around, if not, watch it back later. At the end of the show, I got something for everybody. That's for Deborah, but all of you are able to take a look at it. But anyhow, we got to show some love to another network that's here that is doing well. SZTV is stopping in. Susie, who's a regular here, but she has her own network now, and I got to hit a button here. Just give me a second here. It's been a long time. Hey, thank you, Susie. We're gonna take a look at what Susie has mentioned here. She says, "Yes, recently I found myself once again. It took me completely changing my life, people, places, and things." That sounds like
Wow.
something my parents, my mom and dad, used to say all the time. You gotta sometimes flip everything around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great
Absolutely.
point there, Susie.
Yeah.
Any thought or opinion on what she mentioned there?
Yeah. Yeah. Susie, thumbs up for you because sometimes it really takes like bold moves and bold changes to achieve like a huge goal or to like change something massive. And for me, in my opinion, like my experience of this is it's beautiful to change people and places and things, but the main thing is changing the energy beneath it because as long as you don't change your energy, you can change everything else. You can change your house, your partner, your job, everything, and you will stay in similar situations. You will always fall back. Like if I had a rubber band stuck to here and I pull it and then bam, you just come back into your old like default mode. But the moment you change your energy, the moment you're able to really dive deep and see, for example, let's stay with that nutrition thing, like the donuts. You really, really want to not be eating the donuts, but you know you can't stop yourself because willpower only goes so far, and you know you're eventually going to eat the whole pack. And so, what you need to ask yourself in that moment, and just, stop for a second, like tell them the donuts can wait just a minute. I'm going to have them all, but I'm just want to answer that question. What feeling am I aiming for? What am I looking for? What do I want?
Oh,
And then
I
you're
want to
going to,
answer that one. I like that
yeah,
one. I want to answer. So here we go on the donuts.
yeah.
So donuts around 9 o'clock, and I know I got a show with you. So sometime between 9 o'clock last night and having the show with you, I didn't want to see any donuts when I was done. And I had a choice, 3 choices: eat them, give them away, or throw them away.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to experience with those donuts is that I know I'm not going to get any more until about another 6 or maybe even 9 months from now.
Why's
So
that?
I just don't eat them like that anymore. I just
Okay,
don't.
but that is like very practical reasons. But what does Paxton feel like when he's eating those donuts? What is the feeling?
Honestly, I'll tell you this: the
Yeah,
feeling when I eat the donuts
yeah.
is that they taste nasty. They literally taste nasty
So
because
you
I
don't
haven't
even
had
like the
them.
taste of it.
I don't even like the taste of them,
Yeah.
and so
But
every
what is
time
so
I eat them,
attractive about them? And because
no,
if I see
there's
something
nothing.
nasty that I'm not going to have for 9 months, I'm like,
No,
that's amazing. And I don't, yeah, I
The
could
reason
even
why
not have you for 9 years. Yeah.
that's what I think about the donuts. The motivating reason why I ate the donuts
Yes.
is because I know what my daughters had in mind when they gave them to me out of love to have the donuts because they know I don't eat them.
Okay.
So
Okay.
so for me, it's as close as I'm going to get right now to them having a wedding. So, to having a wedding
Oh,
cake because they
wow.
don't plan on getting married. So I
Oh,
literally treat it
wow.
like that when we joke
Okay.
around. I go like,
Okay.
okay, there's no guy here. I mean, they're
Okay.
single.
And now if
So
I
it's like
had like half an
this is your
hour, if,
wedding. The only thing
okay.
missing is me dancing and being goofy and putting
Okay.
up their baby
Awesome.
pictures on a big screen or something like that.
Awesome.
No, it's a whole process. It's
Yeah.
not that moment, and it's
Yes.
not anything that I'm going to get in that moment
Yes.
because it'll be a long time before I eat like that
Yes.
again.
So,
If that makes any sense. And
it makes total sense, and we haven't had like a lot of time together.
no,
If I
no, hey,
had you like in a
we
private
would you say
room
we
room,
have family conversations with you and I
yeah,
have, so
it
to
would be
just
different.
because
But
everybody's watching.
what I hear, there's the donut, but then there's the whole story attached to the donut.
Oh
And
no, yeah, there
the
is.
story is so much more than a donut can ever
Yes,
be. It's like the daughters and the love and the sharing and the, want to do something good for Papa and just bringing him some donuts, and it's the closest to marriage. So I see this huge story, and actually you like project that story into the donut.
and
But
you know
that's,
what? So
yeah,
interesting about that, I'll just tell you this
yes.
much: there was a time where there was no story, and what you're saying makes sense because I remember being that way. I had
Yes.
that external, and ooh, it's gonna quiet something. But
Yes.
now those things have been quieted. So now when I eat the donut, hopefully everybody can comfortably hear me. If anybody's listening or Susie and I don't sound right with my mic, let me know. But so now when I eat it, I just told you, I don't even, and it doesn't even taste right.
So
It's not a part of my taste buds now.
yeah,
So
but
now when I went
then
to eat it,
yeah.
I'm literally making fun that, hey, I'm eating your
Okay.
wedding cake. I'm eating your wedding cake essentially,
Yeah.
because and so it's kind of a running joke per se in the family.
That's sweet. But you see now, and I'm more focused and more interested because my initial question was, do you have something you'd like to stop but you're unable to? And you said yes,
I'm
donuts.
a
So
look.
that's not entirely true. The
No, not
thing,
really. No, because I
yeah,
really already stopped those.
exactly. But you can still connect to the feeling you had when you were eating them to like block
Hey,
something out and to get
we're
something
having some
like a
fun
warm
here.
feeling.
I give you another one. You mentioned one, and I was going to jump on it, but we went down this road. And everybody, you're watching this. Hey, remember the first time we talked? So that's kind of what we're doing right now. You and I, the first time we talked, what was it, like 3 or 4 hours, whatever. Anyhow, so I'm just telling her stuff. So you mentioned binge watching.
Yes.
Okay, so you binge watch per se. All right,
Me?
right. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't even watch
No.
TV
Okay.
ever.
Okay, got
Not
it.
even
Right.
movies,
So
not
that's
even
what I was going to
Netflix,
say because I
nothing.
remember you not watching TV. So
No,
anyhow,
nothing.
so
That
I
was
like
just an
I
example.
like binge watching when I have time on a
Yes.
Saturday, black and white movies that I used to watch with my mom and dad
Yeah, wow.
and my older brother. All three of them are dead
Yes.
because it soothes that feeling of the memories of doing that with them.
Yes.
So the reason I mentioned that to you is because I had a therapist on the show and she brought up something that she does similar to what I'm saying to you right now. And I wasn't doing what she was doing or what I'm doing right now.
Yes.
And she said she would tell her clients to do that. That, because they would miss that person because that person is dead.
Yeah.
And so they would do that. And now she mentioned to me, and now I can see what she was saying. She said, you'll start to see certain things in the show or whatever that you never paid attention to before or other things because you liked something because somebody else did. And now you like it because you like it. And it has even more meaning to you because you had one memory, but now you have new memories. And so it was just a whole, I know you said we can't spend all day together here, but
No, but
I
that's
just find
awesome.
it interesting when it comes to binge watching. You said
Yes.
that, and I remember that entire experience. It took me a long time to start to understand the importance that not only is there energy when we interact with one another, or even when we're by ourselves in private, but there's a story behind every moment of energy. Now, nobody has to agree with that. Nobody has to understand that. I'm just mentioning something to you that I've come to learn from doing these shows, is that there usually is a story that comes with somebody's energy one way or the other. Like you said at the beginning, when you said a person needs to look at themselves, and you weren't trying to be mean. You're not a mean person. You're just highlighting to the audience, take it off the toxic, whatever label goes to the other person, and let's see inside what is it that I can per se work on.
Yes.
Understanding that they need to be accountable for whatever they need to do. I'm sorry, I was having a half dad moment, but I'm not fully awake anyhow. So
No, don't worry about it. But I really
if you
want to say
understand what,
one thing because if you have like, on and off, like on Saturdays, you really like to watch like old black and white movies, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I'm talking about addictions in your life where you like, every single evening you're binge watching for 4 hours, going to
holy
bed at
wow.
1 at night, or like smoking a pack of cigarettes, or like having too much wine, or like eating the whole fridge because you get like really
Yeah,
hungry at
yeah.
like 10. Those are the like addictive patterns I'm talking about. Now, if you say, it makes me feel good when I watch those movies on Saturday, please do that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. but there is
Hey,
a way.
I just want to say real quick before you go
Yes.
on, if there's anybody here that's listening to this or watches this, and you happen to know somebody that needs to watch this, share it with them. Or if they want to contribute in one way or another, reach out to Deborah, Deborah Elam on Instagram, of course, TikTok. Yes, correct. Make sure, correct me.
I'm on TikTok at the moment.
Yeah, I was going to say TikTok as well as on YouTube. But make sure you go to her website as well. Before you go on, I got to put this up. Please make sure you look at the screen if you're watching it. If you watch it back later or whatever the case may be, Deborah_pure_magnetic. Feel free to reach out. And you don't have to agree 1,000% with me or with Deborah. Just if you're struggling with addiction of any kind, and it consumes your life, please make sure you reach out and get some serious help and some counseling that you may need. But if you're struggling with something, make sure you have a serious discussion with Deborah as well. I'm sorry, Deborah, I was going to say that earlier and I got to talking about myself, how rude I am. Please, Deborah, go ahead. You were going to say.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so the question you asked me like just before this was how can someone take the mirror and like look at themselves to kind of dive into the patterns they've been living? Is that what you were asking me?
Yes.
Okay. So, those patterns, they've become so habituated to you. You're so used to being the way you are, thinking the way you think, doing the things you do, being a people pleaser maybe without noticing it. And you're not going to recognize that that might be problematic or that that might be, bringing in different consequences in your life that you'd rather not be living. So the most valuable advice I can give to someone is find someone with whom you can walk that path, with whom you can go through a process of really becoming aware. Because I always consciousness, I always have an example, like I say, like a goldfish glass, like an aquarium. And this is your consciousness, and you're swimming in there like a goldfish. And now there are things that you want in your life, maybe, a partnership that is really respectful and smooth, or, the success in your life. You want the physical fitness. You want all of these things that are outside of your consciousness. You're not going to get them by swimming in that little, goldfish glass. And it's so difficult because most people misunderstand and they think, oh, I'm just going to need to grab outside and just get those things and get them in here. But that's not the way it works. The way it works is that you need to expand what you know, you need to expand the way you think, the way you feel, and you need to become that person that has, included everything that he wants into that consciousness. So you need to become the bigger version of you in order to, break free from the little patterns that you've been living in and naturally have all of these things that this conscious person would have in their life. So
How does a person who, I'm going to put three questions into one, and you know where I'm coming from because I told you this before the show. Okay, here we go. Person doesn't have support. Person feels that they don't have courage, because I love when you said that at the beginning. And another person feels, well, I've tried it, but it didn't work. Now, I gave you three different scenarios because I told you I have tons of questions from over 5 years.
yeah.
So I'm thinking of three different people right now. That's their scenario. But what you just said is excellent to hear. How can individuals coming from those different directions make that work, what you just said?
Exactly my very first words of this complete talk that we're having.
I
You need
understand.
the willingness to do it.
Yeah.
Like,
I
stop
knew you were going to
telling
say
yourself you've
I s-
tried stuff
I knew you were
already.
going to say it. Yeah. Yeah.
Stop
Yeah.
telling yourself that you can't do it because you're not supported.
Yeah.
What you see, like when you look at me, for example, you see okay, she seems to have her stuff together. Maybe you think that. But then what you don't see
Don't
in
break my
people-
bubble. Don't burst my
Yes.
bubble. Okay, go ahead.
What you don't see in people is the path they've walked, the tears
yeah.
they've cried, the hardship they've went through, the commitment they've had, the discipline
Yeah.
they showed.
Yeah.
And people, in this whole like world where we can just, fly places super quickly, order from Amazon, get it the next
Yeah.
morning. It's
Yeah.
like instant, instant,
Yeah.
instant. So
Yeah.
people tend to want the goal, but they don't want the path. And it's all about the path because it's not about achieving this milestone, this new
Yeah.
job, this new partner. It's about the person you become on the way. You transform, you like morph into this bigger version of you. And there's nothing wrong with you. But if you're wanting things that are on a different level, you're going to have to get up there, And
Right.
there's a
So
way.
when you say expand, I love the way you brought that word into this conversation. So they're going to have to expand. That means they need, maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, they have to look at or maybe they themselves are doing to restrict themselves from that expansion. Maybe.
Well, that is very like mind-based. What it
Okay.
actually is, is like I have a whole training where you first of all, of course, I give input. Like how does that work?
Mm-hmm.
How does that work with your with your neural network? Like what do we have to there are like data pathways that we need to like let
Yes. Correct.
down and
Right.
others that we need to activate. And that's a training. You need to repeat that over and over and over again. But then what we do is we like drop into our bodies where you feel in your heart. And then
Yes.
you start, becoming really trustful and just connecting with that new state of consciousness. And
Hold
that
that thought. Hold that
connection,
thought there for a second. Trustful
yes.
of what?
Sorry?
We become trustful of. I'm trying not to say it. I'm trying to ask the question the right way. To be trustful, and then we settle down. Trustful of what?
Well, of everything, but first of all, when you're in my room, when I'm
Yeah.
your mentor, first of all, you need to have trust in me that
Got it.
I can hold the space for you.
Got it.
Then you need to have trust in you, which is the much more important thing, that you can do it. And that,
Got it.
that change that you're looking for is actually there for you. And that is actually waiting for you to finally, step up.
And that's the
And-
willingness, right? The willingness to go through that process with someone, and
Yes.
also allowing yourself. I'm gonna pick me. Allowing myself, my body, to go through that process instead of interrupting it.
Exactly. Because the ego, like the mind, is always going to
Yeah,
say
I was gonna-
exactly
that was
the
my
things
next-
you just
yeah.
said, but I have
That was
no
my next-
support, and
How long is this
going
gonna
to
take?
How long
Yeah,
is it
yeah.
going to take?
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
done this already. It didn't
Yeah,
work.
I don't see it working. Yeah.
Exactly. So, when is change coming?
Do they
And,
know? They start losing trust in you, and that, well, she's been in more time with that person. I don't get it. That kind of thing. Yeah.
So your mind is going to play all kinds of tricks
Mm-hmm.
on you. And the emotional mastery is to hear that and to say, I'm doing it anyway. It's like, for example, you have daughters.
I was trying not to
and-
laugh when you said that because
Yeah,
I know how
and-
you talk. So say
Exactly.
that to just
because I'm so
don't
sure.
trust
I'm
it,
gonna say
right?
An example. Paxton is at a wedding with his 2 teenage girls. Yeah, when they were teenagers.
Teenage. Oh, okay. I thought you
When
meant
they
no.
were
Okay, yeah.
teenage.
Yes.
And you danced. And they said
Yeah,
like,
yes.
Dad, this is so embarrassing. Please. And you said like,
Hey, hey.
I love that I'm embarrassing,
dance
but I'm
pretty
gonna
good.
do it anyway. I'm gonna shake up a groove. And so there are situations that everyone can relate to. Perhaps like someone that you love, like your child, saying like, "Oh my God, this is so cringe," and you're like, "Okay, I'm gonna do it anyway. It
That's
doesn't
funny.
matter." So
Yeah.
this is exactly the way you treat your ego. You listen. You're like, "Okay, I get it," but I'm
I love
still
it.
doing it.
I love it.
I'm still doing it.
Yeah. And that
There's no
part of I'm
ego
still doing
hating.
it, that
Yeah.
that part of I'm still doing it, that can become a new pattern, correct?
Which one?
I'm still
still
doing
doing
it.
it?
Yeah. That can become
the
a part of the
pattern-
new pattern.
The pattern could
Instead
be,
of
I
the
stick
old
to what I
pattern of
feel
listening to the
inside.
ego.
Exactly. The pattern can be like,
Yeah.
it would be a very dysfunctional pattern if you say like, every time someone tells me not to do something, I'm going to do it just because.
It's because, yeah, right.
Yeah, no,
that's a whole nother
not-
show, but yeah,
Exactly.
right.
But if you just, are really embodied in your truth, and it
Yeah.
doesn't matter, if you have like out of like 10 people, you have 9 no sayers.
Yeah,
and you say,
yeah, yeah.
okay, thanks for your opinion.
Yeah,
I'm
hey,
the CEO
appreciate
of
it.
this vessel,
Yeah,
and
got
I'm
it.
still gonna go.
Yeah.
Because I feel it.
Yeah.
So this is like a big part of like starting to trust the person you're working with is going to kind of lend you the trust for that little like time phase where you do not yet have it. Like me, for example, when I like just started off, I had mentors around me that believed more in me than I believed in myself. So I kind of borrowed their trust. And I said like, okay, I'm going to try to look at myself through your eyes because that picture is way better than the way I view myself.
I see. I just have flashbacks of many conversations we've had in private. Anyhow, what I was going to say is, you are an exceptionally talented person, and I got to get back to the chat here just briefly. And if Susie, if you're gone, I understand, but I have to. Susie mentioned something. You probably already saw it. I put it up on the screen. She said, "I thought it would break my heart."
Oh, wow.
Nope. Energy feels freed. A huge releases is what she mentioned, and of course she told us that the microphones are working fine.
Susie,
Our
that's
sound
so
sounded good.
beautiful. I'm so
Isn't
happy
it though?
for you. Yeah, it really is. It's so
Very
beautiful.
happy for her. Very
Yes.
happy for her. What I wanted to say about you and I doing this today, I didn't touch on it before we had the show start, but when we just talk, I've got some great feedback. This is not our first time doing it like on YouTube. We did this on Instagram. We just were never doing it on purpose, where you had no notes, I had no notes, and we just talked. Today was the first time me not writing down what you said. And let me tell you why. Because, notes gather, they start to have a library of stuff
Yes.
on you and in, I don't know, over 800 and some odd guests that I've had in time frame. And I said, you know what? Today, I'm not going to take notes, and I'm going to try to remember what she said. It's just that your opinion, when you give it, the audience, the feedback, when I go to do my research, I do research on every person that comes on, every show, every piece of content before we put it on and after everything. And the audience, and I did touch on this with you before the show, they love it when you give your opinion on something, because you're not judgmental in the sense of what they're accustomed to, and you're able to tell them how to apply. You're laughing. Don't go there. So you're able to help them apply what you're highlighting, and they feel like they're talking to a big sister or a cousin or something like that when they
that
hear
is
it
so
from you.
awesome.
So here, I'm going to run a few things down. I'm going to do 3.
But please have
then-
a look at Susie's beautiful comment first. She says,
Oh, I didn't
"Love
see
the
that. Oh, she's
goldfish
back. Oh,
analogy.
here she is.
It's all about the path." Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Paxton. Thank you so much, Susie, for
Thank you,
hanging in there,
Susie.
for being
Everybody
there.
go to SZTV
You're awesome.
Network. Yes, Susie's going to be back. Everybody's going to be back. I'm sorry. Let me do this real quick. Everybody that's been writing me, I'm still alive. My daughters are fine. Thank you so much. Sherlock the cat is fine too. He didn't get COVID. And we're all doing well. And everybody that you've asked about, they're all coming back. Okay. So, now that I've got my voice back and some energy back, everything's going to be fine. And we're still rolling and on schedule for 2025 and other stuff. So get that out of the way real quick. But this, Susie, the goldfish analogy, she says she loves that. I do too. I want to get your opinion on a few things here. So yes, everybody, you guys will see Susie soon. Just get that out of the way real quick too. Give your opinion. Here we go. Let's do this. Give your opinion on this. What's more important? That a person recognizes that they have an old pattern, that they accept that they're in an old pattern, or that they find out why they have the old pattern?
Well, to recognize that you're in an old pattern would be the same thing as saying, okay, I have this addiction, so what?
Got it. I see.
It all depends on the energy. If you on the other hand, you accept that you have the old pattern, it can be on the one side, it can be very healing to just meet yourself where you are. But on the other side, if you accept it because you're saying, and I have no power to change this, it's always been this way, it's like
Just
this,
give
it
up.
will always be,
I'm gonna quit.
it can be super dysfunctional. And the other thing you said, why do I have this pattern, is like, yes, it can be interesting to like dive into
Who
that,
to
but
blame,
then
in other words, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
but then where are you? You're up here. You're like, thinking about scenarios, and at the root of it, we're all innocent, Your dad is innocent, your mom is innocent, like everyone who you've met
Yeah.
on the way, even if they've
Yeah.
brought you tears and trouble and hardship.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
still, to connect with that innocence and to just accept, look, this is what we have, this is what we're dealing with.
There it
And
is.
I am exactly vulnerable, just raw. I'm willing to like show myself vulnerable and raw,
Yeah.
and I am willing to face myself. I'm willing to give it what it takes to get myself out of this. I really want this for my life, for my children, for my partner, even for the community.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
to like I know so many people who are, have kind of been like wrestled to the ground by their outer circumstances, and they're like beautiful shining lights hiding underneath a pattern of self-destruction. So when I see like these kind of people and I recognize that, and I'm like, if you got yourself out of there, do you even know how far your light would ripple? Because you'd be an example to your community, to your children.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
only like one decision away. And a decision like taken with more power as the traumatic event or the pain that you've been through is something that can change your life.
I have so much I want to tear into what you just said, and we just don't have a day long enough to do it. The words, the word illustration that you just gave in describing that is beautiful. Everybody, rewind it, and listen back to it, because I got some more for you. Okay, so that was one. I got two more for you. Here we go. The second one. If a person is struggling in shifting their focus from the old pattern to creating a new pattern, a productive pattern, and they want to do it, you already said it, but what is the first thing that they need to do, and what is the second thing that they need to do?
So, well, if they're having trouble shifting from like an old pattern to a new pattern, like what it feels like for me is that they really need support with someone
Okay.
walking side by side with them. So what I'm going to say here is like, because that's an excellent question, Paxton. What I'm going to say here is they
It's from a
need-
viewer. It wasn't from me, but go ahead.
but they need someone to help them to step into their responsibility.
Got it.
That's what needs to happen, because no one's gonna come, right? So if you're, for example, in a coaching with me, I'm gonna be side by side, like shoulder by shoulder with you.
Got
I'm
it.
not
Right,
gonna
yeah.
mother you. I'm not gonna feel like pity for you. I'm not gonna, soothe your pain over and over and validate what you've been going through. Of course I will do that. But then comes a time where I'm gonna say, and now we're gonna both stand up and we're gonna walk. And if we're walking through fire, that's even better reason to keep walking, right? To not stand still.
Yeah, if you don't want to,
If you don't
have
wanna
a
burn
burn
down to the
problem,
core.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
you're gonna get
So,
burned.
Like it's all gonna actually. So that's the first thing is responsibility, right? Just
Yes.
step into your responsibility. And the second thing is gonna surprise you, perhaps, playfulness. Just be easy about it. Laugh some. Don't take it so seriously. You're not getting out of this life alive anyway. So I mean, you might as well have fun just dancing with life and just
I love when you're on the show. That is so.
Yeah.
That is so you. That's the right
And I
answer.
love being on here with you because we
You're so
remind
playful, too.
ourselves to be
You're
playful
oh
as
yeah.
well.
Oh man. Yeah.
But some people, when they're walking on their path, are like, do you know that, what's the name? Winnie the Pooh. And there's like the donkey, ee-ah, and he walks
Oh,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
like this. Don't
Never heard you
be
make that noise
ee-ah.
before.
Yeah.
It's just-
Don't be ee-ah
Yeah.
on your way. Like, be Tigger.
Be Tiggered.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, people, you got to Tigger up. Go get yourself. Go to Toys R Us, whatever. Go to some toy store. Call around before you want to drive around and find out where there's a Tigger, and you get a Tigger, and you go and subscribe to Deborah's. Man, I have been.
Channel,
I've been on
channel.
vacation. Thank you to her channel. and
Yes.
you send her a message on her channel. You take a picture, you and Tigger, and you
Yes.
send her and said, "I
Well,
took your advice,"
if
and
you do
start
that,
becoming more
then
playful.
you're like getting a super deal on my VIP coaching. If you're doing that, that
There
would
you
be
go. There you
awesome.
go. You sign up
Yes,
for her VIP coaching, you guys. And
absolutely.
hey, you know what? If you're gonna go spend a bunch of money, don't take it the wrong way, on your hair, on your car, detailing your car, whatever. Just, you know what? Go wash your car by hand for a while. Pay for the VIP coaching, and you'll have a totally different pattern. And then you can go ahead and call up a guy to come to your house and do your car for you or something like that and
Yeah.
celebrate. Or go
Yeah.
eat donuts like I do once a year. But
And
what I
as
was
well,
gonna say,
Paxton, yeah,
so
but things just when you start,
man,
I don't know if you've ever had that experience of like leaning over the edge of like doing an investment for yourself, and then you decide to do it, and all of a sudden it's like there's a red carpet rolling out under your feet, and things just show up, like things just go well, and you
yeah, I
just
know what you're talking
there's
about. Yeah,
abundance
that's
coming
another
in
show in
from.
itself. Matter of fact, yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. Yeah.
because once you show the
Oh yeah.
universe, you know what, universe, I'm all in, and this check is going to prove that I'm really all in, then the
There's a
universe is
momentum.
watching.
There's a
That's
momentum.
momentum.
There's a momentum
Absolutely.
that begins to pick up. Matter of fact, I'm going to do this now that you mentioned that. Before I say the third one, this is involves Susie, for example. I'm not going to get too much into it right now because I'm going to save it for Susie when she comes on. But Susie has a life story of what you just said. That when she turned her attention toward herself,
Yes.
things just start moving.
Start moving, start
But
happening.
then there are moments, and Susie, if you can address it if you want, before we're gonna leave in a little bit because I'll play the video at the end. But Susie began to highlight. She don't want to feel like she's not talking to certain people or doing certain things. She's just in a. What did you say at the beginning? She's just in that level. You did that at the beginning.
Yes.
She's
She's
leveling yes.
leveling up her energy.
She's not trying to leave or be
Yes.
cold or mean. She just
Yes.
feels she needs to do this,
Yes.
but was feeling guilt and shame. Does that to a measured degree? But then her
She's-
energy changed.
So she's leaving situations, but
Yeah.
at the same time feeling guilt and shame.
You guys should talk, is what I'm saying. You guys,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
what you're saying applies to her where she is now in life.
Yes.
She's moved away from so much. So it's, I'm not saying her in particular, but people we've talked to with this channel, they began to mention that they're past that angry stage about this person. So they don't hate the videos and the people that made them in the past that helped them. They're just not in the same space anymore.
Yes.
And now they just want to be playful and happy.
Yes.
And they're not triggered or anything like that. And Susie's like that as well. And so there are a number of people that are in a certain stage where others still need that information that helped them 5 stages back. So it's just Susie is here. I'm talking about you. I didn't know whether you're. I had to be
Life
careful what I'm
starts
saying,
happening.
Susie. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
that's it. She said it.
Yes.
You see, just like my father would say, a guy takes. He would tell me. He says, "I said, Dad, why didn't you have anything to say? Sometimes when Mom is saying, you just say yep." And he said, because a woman can say it in 10 words, and it takes me 400 words to say it. He says, so what's the point of me saying anything? I just let her say it and agree. So it's the same thing. Susie's saying life starts happening. If you're listening to this right now, that in a nutshell is one of the things that we're trying to highlight to you. But we got to go back to what Deborah said at the beginning. You have to want it. You have to want life to happen instead of just saying, when is it going to happen? And this is why it didn't happen. There comes a point that you could
Yes.
talk about the flat tire, or you could get the spare tire out and change it and
Absolutely.
get on the road
That's a
again.
good
And if
analogy.
you get on the road again, I promise you, you're not going to eat donuts all the time. You're not going to sit down and eat ice cream all the time. There's so much more to breathe outside your house and take in than inside. Stop. I just caught it
Yeah.
in the corner of my eye. Susie, I see you laughing because you know how I think weird things in my head, my analogies. But this was really good. I do have one more for you. And I hope you're ready for this. Okay. You mentioned about having somebody you kind of go through this process of growing and expanding with. What if somebody has a problem creating new rituals to empower themselves because they find reasons to make excuses. In other words, there's always an excuse why they
Yes.
can't move forward.
Yes.
What's your
Well,
opinion and thoughts on that? That's the last one.
okay, no problem. First of all, I want to say, like, my opinion really doesn't matter because what
And you're gonna say,
you know
you
what
so
really
well.
matters
Go ahead,
is
go ahead.
like, to tune in
Yeah.
with your own truth. But if it rings true, I will offer my opinion on this, and then you can just see, okay, that is, you are. How can I put this? You are
Just put it.
entitled to life, but
Yeah.
you're not entitled to a good life. It's your choice. You can choose to suffer. Like life, God, the universe loves you so unconditionally. No one has to suffer. But if that is your decision, life will love you unconditionally. You may suffer. But now you have to realize there's no one coming. There is no one coming to save you. No one's going to come and like see who has been unfair to you, get you out of your situation. You're going to need to take responsibility. If you are really ready to change, you will find a way to do it. If you're not ready to change, not ready, then you will find excuses. That's just the way it works. So as long as you're still looking like Google search for excuses all over the place, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make you a worse person. And, there's nothing to judge about that. But the fact is that you're not ready for change. That's my opinion.
See, but I don't know what it is. You just went totally nice because I've heard you give this opinion when we're not on camera, and it sounds totally different.
Oh,
So,
that's not nice. I'm so no. Then tell me what have I said?
so-
And I'm
so
what
here-
have I said off camera? I want
They're
to
just-
hear.
they're
Because
just-
that's the exact
you know
thing I
what?
would tell a friend.
I know you would. You would.
That's
You would
the
say it.
exact
You
thing.
would say
I
it that
don't-
way,
I
and
don't
then
mask-
you would say they're just not ready, Paxton. They're just
Yeah.
not ready.
Yeah.
And that's what
But
you
that's
said
what
right
I
now.
said.
But you
That's
said it
what
in a
I
very
said.
yeah. It is
But
what
I
you
need
said.
to give it some
Why are they?
explanation.
No, you're right. You're right. I'm just messing with you.
Yeah.
So why are they not ready? Not. This is not people on the outside saying that. This is people that have written us and talked to us. They're asking me, and I'm the wrong person to ask.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to just answer like a dad. You're just not ready. You're not ready. Okay. So this is where you are right now. But this is where you need to be I'm going to use your term now, expand. So why are they still saying to themselves, so why am I not ready? Why am I
But
not
they're
ready? Why are they
exactly-
looking? They shouldn't be looking
Yes.
outside themselves for that answer. Based upon what we've just been talking about,
Yeah.
you've been highlighting, they need to look inside.
But they are exactly where they need to be.
Got it.
If
Got
a
it.
student is ready, the teacher will appear. Once you're ready, you will be able to soak up like everything you need to know to create like the life of your dreams. But and there's nothing more powerful than like an idea whose time has come. So you really need to know that. And on this path, there's only you. You like it's very I don't want to say arrogant, but it's kind of arrogant to think you know it better for someone else. So, for example, when someone shows up for me and they're like, I'm not ready or I'm finding excuses and everything,
Right.
who am I to say, this is so wrong, you should be ready? What do I know?
Absolutely.
I
I'm
don't
glad you
know.
said it. I am so glad you said
It might be
that.
their like soul path to just
Yeah.
not be ready for the next 50 years. And that's okay. It
That's
needs
okay.
to be okay.
Yeah.
It needs
Yeah.
to be okay. So, and
I
it
love
gets
it.
very
Love it.
difficult. And I'm not saying it's easy because, for example, if you have a parent or a child or a sibling or
Mm-hmm.
a partner even that is not ready and that is just standing in his own way and has like self-sabotage and everything, it's
Absolutely.
not easy.
Yeah.
But the real unconditional thing to do is love
Yeah.
them where they are.
Love it.
Just let them be.
Yeah. That's all an individual can do is let them be.
Yes.
Because if not, what is it? You go to try to save somebody drowning, and the next thing you know, they're pulling you down too.
Well,
So
or it's like helping an elderly lady cross the street and she didn't even want to go there. Like, what are you doing? She was going the other
where
way.
did you just say? She was going a totally different direction.
She was going a different way, and you're all proud and like every day a
Come
good
on.
deed. And
She's
she's
going
like
like-
hitting you with her umbrella. She's like, "What are you?"
I'm trying to get over there, Paxton, and
Yeah.
you're dragging me
What are
over
you
here. What
doing?
is wrong
Yes.
with you? What's wrong with you? All
So
right.
don't
I-
do that. If people
Don't do
come
that.
up
Yeah,
to
there you
you,
go.
if people come up to you and they're like, Paxton, I'm committed to this. I really want to change.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can do? You say, yes, Deborah Elam, here you go. Like, contact her. You can help, of course. But if someone's saying like, Paxton, I get everything you're saying, but this actually doesn't apply to me because I've
Yeah,
already
right.
done it and it doesn't work.
It doesn't
then
work,
you just
yeah,
say,
yeah.
fine, good job.
Hey,
All
yeah.
the best.
Hey, all you can do is try. You tried. I'm so proud of you. Look, here we go. It's time for us to say goodbye to you. I'm going to say goodbye first to all of you by reminding you of a few things because I have been trying to get through all my emails and get through everything, everybody. But I was really thrown for a loop because I didn't know that Deborah was like in Texas. That's not that far from, us, To know now we could, but I had COVID. You couldn't be near me and I couldn't be near you. I was quarantined. But anyhow, what I was going to say is I have something for Deborah also after that. So the end of this show is going to be seemingly longer than the actual whole show we just did. But you can stick around or not. You can come back later. But Deborah's going to keep her mic on, right? Because I warned you
Yes,
ahead of time.
Can't wait. You guys, you were awesome.
You may
Thank
not.
you so much,
Okay.
Susie,
Yeah.
and for being here and for
Yeah.
being active in the chat. And you guys, if there's anything I can share with you, if you want to have the contact details of my Texan Qigong trainer, I highly recommend. So just contact me so I'm in touch with you and that I kind of know like who's going to be contacting him. That would be awesome. And if you need any assistance on your path, Susie's just saying, I wanted it so badly, I just didn't have the roadmap. And that is beautiful. So if you need a roadmap, if you need like someone by your side to walk and give you trust and responsibility and, hope for everything that's coming and just realize the potential you've been sitting on and that's been waiting for you to actually level up. So if you need any assistance with that, please be in touch and I can't wait to connect with you the next time.
All right.
Bye-bye,
you ready
you
for the
guys.
torture? You ready for the torture?
Is it going to be torture? I have no idea
you
what
know
it is
what?
going to be. Oh my
Hey.
God, I know you, but I'm kind of scared now.
What are you scared about?
Are you
It's
going to
only
put up
me.
another picture of me like 3 years ago with red lipstick? Please. Where
No
did
comment.
you find that?
No comment. No. Gamito. I don't even know what's
That
happening.
was
Is it
like
working yet?
physical pain.
Let
Looking through these pictures, I was like, wow.
me make sure this thing is working here. I got nothing. All right. So first of all, I got to say goodbye to a lot of people. So just hold on. I got to push a bunch of buttons over here. We're going to disappear, but we're still going to be here. So here we go, you guys. I've been out of practice. So
Bye-bye.
I guinea pig with Deborah quite a bit.
Yes.
All right, you'll hear our voices and all that stuff. You guys know how it works here. Just getting back on the horse. So I got to tell everybody, we know we really appreciate Deborah being here. We love her to death. She's awesomely cool. And you guys make sure you show some love to Deborah. Hang in there, everybody. This is going to be a bit. This is 5 minutes that you'll never get back. Now I'm going to show everybody, you guys, you're going to see people that you've been waiting to see and hear. They're going to be back. Dahlia will be back. Others will be back. So don't think you're not going to see them. And of course, you guys all know Susie herself. You guys hang in there. I'll put it up on the screen. Susie will be here. When I get done here, I'm going to play a video that's for Deborah. So Dahlia's going to be back. Susie, of course, make sure you guys check her out. You will see Claudetta again to answer your questions. I'm just doing it this way instead of writing each and every one of you. The author of the Tough Love book. You will see her again. And yes, you will see Leon Walker and the Crime Trio podcast also. And so many of you have been asking me, Yes, she is going to be back. She's had a number of things going on that are really good news, and we'll talk about it when she comes back for her podcast show. These are all podcast shows you can find right here on NA TV Network. And yes, I can't say a new show. She's been on a number of times, and Therapist Mandy will be back. And of course, I will still be doing NATV radio, everybody. So we will be doing that. I have not forgotten it. So if you're bored and you feel there's nothing going on, I have nothing to do, you can always find some type of motivation right here, weekly on NATV Network. But I need you to subscribe to all of the channels that you have just seen me showcase, but I need you to show some love to Deborah. Okay, we're getting close, Deborah. We're getting close. So I actually found a picture of you, and I was gonna ask you about it, but I didn't because I'm not. So
What do you mean?
no, I was gonna ask you, hey, what age were you here and what were you thinking? But I'm saving it for another time.
Okay, awesome.
Because I got something else for you. So everybody,
Awesome. So you're having like a field trip on my account, right?
oh
You're like
man, I saw some stuff. I was gonna handle. I don't remember this being
I have
here.
nothing to hide. You can't even.
I know the feeling. I got you, sister, from another mister. I'm feeling your love. All right, I'm gonna turn this up a little bit and do this and do that. And let's see here. I think we've done everything that I needed to do. I updated everybody that's been writing me and asking, was I still alive? Or we're going to reach out to my daughters. Everything's good. But right now, I need to bring an end to the show. And we need to bring this music down. And I'm going to tap on something that's going to come up on the screen. I am not trying to build anticipation or anything like that. But Deborah, you have, again, made this an amazing show. Been such a great time hanging out with you. You may not talk to me after this video.
Thank you
This
so
video
much,
is about 2 minutes and 50 seconds long. It's what I think about you, and I really appreciate you. You help a lot of people when you come on. So everybody, let's do this. Here we go. Ooh, she's going like, what is he doing over there? What's he doing? Bruce Paxton doing? I don't know what he's doing.
What are you
All
doing?
right, everybody. Okay, here we go. The music is coming down. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. All right, I can do whatever I want. It's my channel. Okay. Everybody, you can come back and watch whatever. The few people that are still here who have nothing better to do, we're going to move a few buttons around over here. You guys get to enjoy watching me come back. Get that out of the way. All right. Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. It's quiet now.
Yes.
It's very quiet.
That is so funny.
You're so cute.
That is so funny.
Look at that.
So you went all the way back. That's like 3.5, 4 years ago.
Wenn du als Kind das Gefühl hattest, so unsichtbar wie möglich zu sein und gemerkt hast, es ist kein Platz für deine Themen, es ist kein Platz für deine Sorgen, für deine Authentizität, für deine Ängste, für Leere. Und es ist sicher, es ist Zeit, dich jetzt mit deiner Präsenz aufzufüllen. Es ist Zeit, wieder zurück zu dir zu kommen und diese Leere mit all deinen Themen,
I believe that's German.
deiner Authentizität wieder aufzufüllen.
Everybody make sure you go show some love to her Instagram account.
Please TikTok if you're on there because I'm not active on Instagram.
Yeah, we're gonna make some noise, you and I over there at some point. But right now, check her out on TikTok, YouTube.
Beginnt auch dein Ziel an dir zu zweifeln. Und wenn du anfängst,
What are you doing? You're an open book, aren't you?
Yep. Glad you're enjoying it.
Were you always an open book?
No, of course not.
That's another show. I like this one.
That's like a trip to the
Wait
past.
for it. There it is.
Yeah.
You're funny. Never lose your sense of humor. We will see you guys later. Really would stick around, but we got to go. I'll talk to you, Deborah, in a little bit.
Paxton, thank you for this very traumatizing video of my past. I thank you very much. I hope you can sleep well tonight.
There will be no donuts. This is better than donuts.
Okay, there will be no donuts.
Much
You're
love for you. I'll
grounded.
talk to you in just a
You're
moment or two.
grounded.
Everybody,
I'll talk to
love you guys. See you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye, Pax.